You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, what up, mi gente? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders / GeekFest Special. Yes! We got an awesome director here, creator. I'm gonna call her a creator because she's a director, producer, editor. I mean, she's worn more hats than Lucy has on any episode. You feel me? Like, this lady's kicking ass in Hollywood. She's also an award-winning creator. Like, she is murdering it, and we're gonna learn about her amazing film that had me cracking up. It may touch on a social narrative, but have a sense of humor, folks. It's totally hysterical. I was just laughing all the way through. Let me introduce the multi-talented, the one, the only, Sassy Mohen. What's going on, homie? How you doing?
Good. How about you? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm happy to have you on. After what I saw today, that had me chuckling. Like within the first 60 seconds, not even 30 seconds, I was already chuckling. I'm like, okay, Sassy is sick-minded. I love this. She's using humor as a real vehicle, but for an important message at the end of the day, which is true. So, Sassy, before we get into this whole business, tell us about you. Where you from? Where you OG grew up at?
Well, I was born in New York City, but I actually grew up right outside DC in Arlington, Virginia. You know, we've got the cemetery and the Pentagon and all of that fun stuff. And so it was a lot of political stuff in my life when I was growing up. I decided I wanted to be a director when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And so I kind of just streamlined my entire life to make films and then get out of DC and get over to Los Angeles. Wow! So it was a really cool experience, but you got to love politics to live there.
That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine, wow, growing up in an area like that. I come from New York myself. I'm an OG Brooklynite. But I try to stay myself away from that. I was more of the other street level, if you will, hip hop and other stuff that can't be spoken about yet. I don't know if the statute of limitations run out yet. So
yeah, for sure.
Why not go the route of politics then? While you're in DC, I mean, damn, like you said, it's heavy there. So how come that didn't inspire you in that route, or is that something you want to stay away from?
Well, I mean, my parents worked in media my entire life. They are also hardcore New Yorkers. They're from Brooklyn and Queens themselves.
But hey, like me and my lady. Hey,
there
look at that. Brooklyn, Queens, the Kings County and Queens County. You get that?
Exactly. Yep.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. And so we moved down to DC when I was little. And so they both work in the news. My dad worked at CNN for 20 years. So news was always on in our house. He was one of their lead sound engineers, which was really cool because I got to visit him at work, after shows and meet Larry King, and he did Crossfire and Wolf Blitzer. Yeah, Wolf Blitzer promised he'd follow me on Twitter, and he still hasn't followed through on that. And I'm like, what's up, dude?
Wolf, we'll make Mega force you. If I ever see you at a convention, you better be following Sassy.
Right. And so just being around that so much, I never really had the taste for actual politics. Also because at that time, before where we are now, there used to be so much stigma on being perfect to run for anything. And so, right. And now it's definitely not the case, but right.
You smoked? Who cares if you smoked? Hey, you slap somebody? Who cares? Okay.
And so basically that didn't interest me in being perfect. So I was like, politics is out. I'm just going to follow film. And I mean, I seriously worked at it forever. I directed plays in middle school and high school.
What?
And it was really fun. My school was...
I need to know here. Was there anything in particular in your childhood that stood out to you that was the time you said, "Oh my God, I love this, and how can I do this?"
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different times. I mean, the one that sticks out to me the most was when I was 16 and I was directing a feature film. I say that in quotations because I was 16 doing this, right, in high school. And on my way to set, actually, I was with my best friend. She was driving, and we got into a car accident. It was not bad. But we had kind of like, like neck injuries or whatever. But this day of set was the only day that like the entire cast could get together before everyone went on vacation in August or whatever. And my mom came and picked me up and she was like, "Do you want to go home?" And I was like, "No, we have to shoot this." And so we went to the school and I was in so much pain, right? But then as soon as we started filming, it all evaporated and I forgot what had happened before. I totally forgot. And we shot the scenes and it was really fun. And then afterwards, my principal came up to me and he's like, "Sassy, I heard you were in a car accident. Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I was in a car accident." Like,
oh my God, hold on, let me faint now, right?
Right. Yeah. I just like had totally forgotten. And I thought, if something that I can do can, help me, I don't know, like be happier, be a better person, then this is what I have to do for the rest of my life. So I guess that was the best car accident I've ever been in. I don't know.
I've never been on a happy one because, man, I'm always on the losing end, apparently.
My friend also, she's like, "Yeah, I got you that dream because I got in that car accident." So like, she takes full credit. Oh my God. It was great.
So she's gonna hold that over your head forever. And the day that you make it big time, making that $1 million contest, she's gonna be like, "Okay, since it was my accident that led you, can I have a car now?"
I'm totally happy to. She can piggyback me all she wants.
I dig that. I dig that. So really, what was your the first time that you picked up a camera, and what sparked that idea? What was the day? Was it you by yourself? And what did you do?
I mean, the first, I guess, going back to like middle school and high school, with my parents being in the news, I of course wanted to like, please them and like show off for them. And so they put me in a TV production class in 3rd grade.
Third grade? Oh, damn. Yeah. TV production in 3rd grade? What school you went to? I didn't have nothing like that in New York. I wish.
Right. But Arlington is actually really cool because they put a lot of money into the public arts and the public school system, right? Like, who knew that could help people? And so
it's such a beautiful thing, Sassy.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but
no,
I went to PS 110 in Brooklyn, and so did my daughter, which just graduated college recently. But
congrats.
That principal was all about, let's make sure that we push the arts. She was all about the arts, always. So cool. And my daughter graduated with an associate's in digital art.
There you go.
And she's a monster. Not because she's my little girl, but holy shit, she's a monster. I'm very proud to be around very strong women, whether it's my mama, my wife, my daughter, and seeing examples like yourself kicking ass. Like, it's a great time.
Thank you so much. It's nice to hear that because not every person would agree with you in that sentiment. So it's always nice to hear that from someone.
Listen, no matter what gender you are, you're all born from a woman, right?
Right, exactly.
Show respect, my people. Come on now.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, like Arlington really focused on the arts and schools. And I went to a super tiny public high school for 6th through 12th graders. But also there's a thing called the Arlington Career Center where you could take vocational classes.
Wait a minute. You were stuck with the same group of people from 6th through 12th grade?
That could be a whole podcast within itself. Let me tell you.
I'm just saying, because in New York, you got your elementary, then you got your junior, then you got your high school, but you're always going to be around different, 3 different sets of people. I mean, and I'm so sorry for you. Oh my God.
Also, my grade was the largest, and we had 85 kids in it. So there was, I know. We all were done dating each other by like 7th or 8th grade. There's like no one left.
Anyone else? Where's the new person at? Anyone new into the hood? Jesus.
100%. But so yeah.
With my junior high school, for example, my vice principal, God bless her, Miss Horn, salute if she's still out there. If not, thank you. But she said, "You guys are the worst grade from 7th through 9th that I've ever experienced in my life."
What did you guys do to earn that title?
Well, they were wilding. I mean, again, this is early 90s, so so think about that. It was just a bad time.
Right, for sure.
And that poor lady, like the whole class gasped. How dare you?
That is amazing. But I mean, she cared, right? Like I'm sure did a lot for you guys.
She cursed us out that day, though, because she was like, "Yo, you really were the worst, though." I'm like, "All right, hey, no problem." Hey, you know, you got to own it. If that's what
The
we
only
did,
way, I mean, just all up from there, right? Like if you're
yeah,
the worst, you can
only
only just
way.
improve.
Sounded like DJ Khaled. The only way is up. Come on now. And that's
Yeah.
where you were headed since that first time you pick up a camera, though, right? Because
Right. I mean, like I really loved working with the camera. What I really found though was that I love directing. I mean, obviously I'm here now, right? But like they have this career center where like you could take after school classes or Saturday classes, and then in high school you could take actual classes for credit. And they had, you know, the TV production thing, and they also had like salon training, like coding training, you know, like all sorts of actual vocational jobs that could help you get a real job after high school. And so I started that in third grade, and they had a really great studio that had a whole like broadcast TV setup. And I just kind of
what?
found, yeah, it was really cool. And it was all
Wow.
public too. And like pretty
Amazing.
affordable, you know, like, and because they really wanted to help people. That was the whole, like, help children and teenagers to excel in
Well,
life.
well,
And
thank God for
yeah.
them because we got Sassy kicking ass right now. Hey,
Yeah.
what? That's
So
dope.
yeah, it was just like a really fun experience. I can't say that I can remember like the first time I actually picked it up, but I do remember getting like a great feeling when I would like be in the control room, you know, being like camera A, do this, you know, whatever. And I had like written a script, and it's just like, it was really cool. You know, you have those moments where I'm sure you with doing this show where you're like, I just really love doing this. And I
Yeah,
feel that
for
I'm
me it's
good at
fun.
it,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And it's just something that you're like, I enjoy this. This is cool, you know, and it wasn't like, I don't know, doing cartwheels outside. So I
I
was
mean,
like, cool.
don't ask a Latino what's a podcast because you know my parents. Is it radio? What do you mean? It's radio? No, it's not radio. It's different. It's kind of, but it's not. But it's
Yeah,
this. You
for
know.
sure. Totally.
Try to explain this shit to your parents. It's like it's the worst thing. You get you start having seizures. Like, oh wait a minute,
I
shit. I don't know
know.
how do I explain this to someone that just doesn't mess around with this stuff?
Something I feel like everyone like is going through on some level, right?
Yeah, but I
Especially
love
today.
this platform because I get to talk to people like you. This is you know, and when I talk to people like you, it just keeps inspiring me. So
That's
it's a
awesome.
win-win. It's a win-win for me. And then
Yeah.
I have your website in the background, and you're seeing the motion. I'm like, damn, yo, I need my website to start looking like this. That's it. I'm gonna show you folks in a little bit. Don't you worry. All
Yeah.
right. So, what was the first big project that you say you ever had that you could say, okay, now this is me really doing something not as a kid, but now this is pro.
Right.
How
Yeah.
and how did you land that opportunity, and how did you feel? Most importantly.
Yeah, so the first big project I did was I did a real feature film without the quotations in college, because basically I realized right before junior year of film school, I went to Chapman, that I wasn't guaranteed to direct a senior thesis. There was like a small handful of people. And that even if I did, there are certain like rules and regulations that you had to follow with this thing. And then talking to people that went to other film schools, it was like everyone was going to walk out with kind of the same type of 10-minute short, right? Like everyone, of course, had a different style. But then I was thinking, how is that actually going to get me a job after college and real world experience? So I decided to make a feature film, which was definitely a real world experience. Chapman told us the project was too ambitious at first. They wouldn't let us do it. It was a whole thing that was
Ooh.
very frustrating because they had just opened the brand new film school, and all I was asking for was some equipment and some locations to use on campus. And they got all in a huff. And even like some of the student body got in a huff. They're like, "You haven't even made a short yet. You're going to make a feature film. How dare you? You know,
Yeah,
who
don't
do you think
hate.
you are?"
Don't
Yeah. And
hate if she
I
has
was
the
just like,
skills and the courage to do it. Shit.
right. And so we made this film, which was extremely challenging. We raised all the money online, but before
Awesome.
Kickstarter existed, like we did it all through
Oh,
PayPal.
oh,
Yeah.
what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're blowing my mind here. I'm digging this. This crowdfunding before crowdfunding.
Yeah.
How did you guys think to work that, and how did you navigate it to
Well,
to collect funds? That's
for
pretty
sure. I
interesting.
had an amazing co-producer named Dylan Morris, who's now a producer actually up in San Francisco for different commercials and shows. And he had come across this podcast called The Four-Eyed Monsters, which was one of the first indie films ever to actually do behind the scenes podcast while they were
Ooh.
making their movie. And this was like, you know, this was 2006, so YouTube had just happened, Twitter hadn't happened yet, you know, like things were just kind of brewing. And Four Eyed Monsters did this campaign where they made behind the scenes podcasts and they raised money online. They just had a website and like whatever social media, like MySpace at the time, was available. And Dylan was like, this is how we're going to get money for this. So we made these behind the scenes podcasts, and people love them because, you know, like we also, you know, we had a whole struggle because the first few were just us documenting how Chapman wouldn't let us do it and us like looking for money. And because of that, people would PayPal our website. We had a little PayPal donate button, and we raised a couple $1,000s through it, and learned a lot about social media marketing in general. And it just so happened that like Facebook launched the mini feed the week we did auditions. So a bunch of actors posted about it. We had this huge turnout, and a lot of like serendipitous things happened while we were making the entire project that allowed us to connect with people from around the world. Even we got donations from like England and like random places.
Isn't that awesome, you know, right? You're like, oh my God, they know about me out there. What?
I know, it was cool. Like we made this film, and actually like a lot of the people from the post-production team especially are doing very well in the industry now. And we made all our money back, and it got distribution, and I took it around the country, which was really fun. And I did this, I think, when I was like 19 to 21. What? And so we, the film is like
young.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
young.
And the film is, you know, okay, it's not great. I wrote it and directed when I was 19 years old. But it definitely taught me so much about the industry, and it got me my first job in the industry. And because of that, I was able to make all my other films, because it was kind of like establishing a line of credit, you know, with people of like, I can make a film, it'll most likely turn out okay, and it'll get done and it'll get seen, which is not something that a lot of indie filmmakers can say. And so I honestly, I didn't know what I was getting into when we started it. It almost fell apart, you know, a million times, because we were just kids that like literally were just like learning as we were going. And
what was the biggest lesson then you learned in that journey, in that first time? What was the number one lesson that you took away that you said, I would never? I mean, again, lessons could be coming from either successes or failures. So was it a failure or a success that taught you your biggest lesson?
I mean, I definitely think failures, like our overarching lesson I learned with it is really just how to value people's time. I find that a lot of indie filmmakers just assume that everyone has all the time to give them for their stuff, and that actors just like are going to show up and people will put in their gas money and stuff, which I assumed at the time. That's not the case. You know, everyone has their own lives. And what I really learned is how to start like showing people that I respected their time and asking them for like only allotted spaces of it. But I didn't know that going into it. The second lesson I learned that isn't overarching is to always carry a phone charger with you to set. And that ended up in the only day of set I've ever canceled. And it's a very long story, but this was also before there was universal phone chargers, right? So like, you know, like everyone had their own stuff.
Let me use quotes now, because that universal phone charger lasted for a very limited time in our life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. And so it's just, you know, we had this day of set that spectacularly fell apart very quickly. Like the lead actor blew a tire and had like a nervous breakdown at the side of the road. My phone was dead. Then like the DP was driving up with the rental that had the generator, had all this gasoline. He had the whole crew in the car. And so they were all like, had gasoline in their lungs, and like
basically they were high as shit on the show off the gasoline.
Right.
No phone.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh my God, am I fired? She's not picking up the phone.
Exactly. And I hadn't printed a call sheet because again, I was 19 and this is my third day of set. And this is before Google Maps and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
That was a day where it's like in Arrested Development, how they say always leave a note. I'm like, always have a cell phone charger. Always. And then have a backup cell phone charger. Like that's now on set what I have.
I have 4 book bags that I carry to cons, you know, depending what type of con it is. Each one has on the top pocket a charger with the right cable. I'm not ever going to be left chargeless.
Yep.
And if not, and I also carry the base, you know, the base that you can lay the phone on.
Yeah.
I carry one of those around. Like I'm about to have the convention fanny pack. I think it should be a thing.
I mean, I love fanny packs. Fanny packs are great.
Yeah, well, I'm a Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, so you know, fanny packs back in the day was used for handball. You know, you put your gloves, your handball, your gum.
Hell yeah! I will fanny packs are amazing.
Ass nowadays on handball. I may be 47, but I'll still bust your ass. Don't you play with me? Right? and talking about kicking ass, though, this, like I said, I got to see how to hack birth control. Now, that title doesn't like grab you, like, huh? Yeah, it is hysterical, but it's a statement. It's a statement too, which we're gonna get into in a moment. So allow me now to show that trailer that you sent me over, showing off all the goodness of this hysterical, folks. I laughed within the first 30 seconds. I was like, oh man, smiles to the eyes. Sassy's humor is right up my alley. So let's get it done. Check it out, folks. How to hack birth control official trailer.
Remember when you didn't fuck until marriage? Neither do we. If you find abstinence only isn't working for you, got it. Congratulations, you're a human being. You wanna get a condom? And turns out, just like men, there's plenty of ways for women to have lots of sex without getting pregnant.
There's a whole world of birth control options, and we've got the best one.
If you're unable to keep your birth control sitting pretty out in the open, don't let that stop you.
The prescription for morning after pill. I cannot sell that to you.
That doesn't change your pharmacist's civic duty as an American.
God bless.
Watch out for tricky dicks.
Unless you're artificially inseminating with a turkey baster, it takes two to tango.
I've heard the utter hypocrisy of these pro-choicers. The concept of family has become one of abstract chaos.
Thanks, Dave.
Where are you going? If Eve had stayed put and not questioned her place, we would still be in paradise. You're gonna be back, right?
It used to be a hassle to get control of your own life and body. Not anymore.
But in order to find out what works for you, you'll have to sample and try some.
What's this?
Just like in dating, you don't have to get married at the first swipe.
I'm so happy for you.
Where are the women of dignity, grace, humility, and subservience? The women who honor and respect the family and who appreciate the advantages that they inherently own as women.
It's going to make my boobs get bigger.
They are out there, make no mistake. If we don't stand up for ourselves now, the power of femininity will not be repressed. It will not be contained, and it will not be silenced.
You don't have to feel ashamed, scared, or guilty because you want to get laid. Secret's out. Women want to have lots of sex, too. Tune in next time on How to Hack Birth Control when we show examples of the lesbian female orgasm.
Wait, really?
Probably not, but only one way to find out.
Oh my god, that oh really? Dude, hey guys, easy, be easy, dude. Tranquilo. Yo, hilarious. I mean, this had me going. I mean, I was laughing. There's definitely commentary. Yo, again, folks, take your politics out the effing window and just watch this for the humorous take that it is. Because for me, that's what it was. I mean, I'm a man. I didn't feel insulted by anything there because, you know, I know who I am, especially, you know, like I told you before, I understand the strength and power and respect of the queens that we have in our lives. So, to me, this don't bother me. And I found this is funny, but you're talking on a real topic. So talk about the film and the topic that's being dealt with. Because I also got a PowerPoint. We need to meet this awesome team because all these ladies and gentlemen were just awesome. And so I didn't even know how you hooked up with such amazing people too.
Oh my God, they were so amazing. I mean, I direct a lot of social media commercials, and a lot of them are hack videos. And so, like, right a little bit before the pandemic, I had this idea of how funny it would be to do how to hack birth control, basically using the techniques that I do for my commercials, but to actually educate and, you know, make people laugh at the same time. And so, I mean, I didn't anticipate, I guess, as much backlash as the whole topic is getting right now in general from what's going on with everywhere in America. However, I am glad that this is completed and done exactly with the trailer dropped the day the Supreme Court didn't take the ruling about Texas back in September. And so it's been really cool to see the responses from people, from men and women, about having this come out now and like emboldening them. The real message of birth control isn't even about birth control. It's just telling women it's okay to be yourself, whoever that person is. And like, and I feel that a lot of women, you know, are intimidated to be that person in terms of dating or sex or what have you, just because of society or whatever. So like, that's
you're talking to a Latino, you know what I mean? You know,
right.
I don't know if you know about our culture. I mean, you know, in Washington D.C., I don't know how many Latinos you were around where you were at now, you know, but our culture is very messed up sometimes in the sense of how they perceive things. You know, the man this, woman that. Nah, bro, right? Nah. It's y'all body, y'all decide, and y'all takes here. Your takes here were hilarious. That condom joint, look through it. I'm like, shit. I mean, even guys do that. Like, wait a minute, you're not trying to set me up, right? Hold on, because like, that's not just a woman thing. Let me tell you,
I definitely know. Yeah, I have a friend who, when he read the script the first time, he's like, you know, I have a guy who actually had to do that with a girlfriend because she kept poking holes in condoms, and I was like, well, it's good to know this is a cross-gender problem.
Yeah, no, for real. For real, it is nuts, yeah. But again, it's just all it takes, all the different options, like that rooftop scene, and then you're like, oh, you have this, and then the way you keep all the stores that have it. I'm like, it's true. There is no excuse, people.
Yeah,
no excuse. You know, if something happens, it's your fault because you didn't want to take an extra 5 minutes to say, let me run to the bodega. Especially if you're in New York, there's a bodega on every corner, and they got all types.
Right. Yeah, and there's like places to get free condoms everywhere too. Like most clinics, even outside of Planned Parenthood, like want you to take condoms. They're like, please, love of God, use these. You know,
please
like,
take these things. I don't want to take care of your nasty kids.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so that's like the other thing is just telling people exactly that, is like showing people where things are available. Like many of the women in the film, like actors and crew members, didn't know all of these options. And I had multiple ones come up to me through the process of making it, telling me, now I'm on this birth control because I didn't know that I could do X, Y, and Z. I always thought this was the case. Wow. And it's just like, there's so much misinformation or even more lack of information out there that I really wanted to try and like put into one place that is funny. And so people don't feel like they're getting hit over the head, you know, with like a certain way of thinking or anything like that.
A message. Yeah.
Yeah.
Message.
Basically.
How is that? Don't be minutes while drinking juice and South Central. Message. All right. So talk about these ladies, because I know this one in the middle with the blue, like she showed up a lot, kind of looking like almost like the hostess, if you will. But always homie in the red, both hysterical. Talk about building and forming the team for this film that you did.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the crew side of it, we had crewed up pretty far in advance. The pandemic had just started. So we shot this in November of 2020, right after the election. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was pretty crazy because like no one was vaccinated yet then either. And so we put out the casting notice, I think in August, and we were flooded with with submissions. There was over 6,000 submissions. Because I think that like, yeah, I mean, one, it was an honor to get all of these. And I also think that people like weren't shooting a lot of things, you know? So like there was a lot of ways the pandemic actually benefited the project in terms of being able to get things cheaper, people being more willing to work with you on times of stuff, you know, because there wasn't a whole lot of commerce going on then.
Yeah, the pandemic was two things, a blessing and a curse, depending on what type of thing you were doing.
100%. And Xanthi, the woman in the blue there you're mentioning, so when her audition, I almost knew right away. I was like, she's who I want. Like, I have to watch everyone else's, you know, but like, she was so funny. And she's actually Australian, which you'd never guess because she's got such a great American accent. Yeah.
Yo, she hits the mark. Like she knows how to deliver. I mean, does she come from a comedy background or what? Because she is great.
She actually comes from a voiceover background. Like she
Oh,
does a lot
word?
of, like
Wow.
narration and stuff like that. And obviously she's got the same sense of humor as us. So I guess in a way comedy, but like she was such a pleasure to work with. And Aisha Holden in the red right there was also another one who, when I watched her audition, I was like, this is who I want. Like we went through, I had a friend who was a casting director help me with everyone to filter out the best ones, but there's definitely many of these. Yeah. Like that. I was just
I mean,
like,
look at her facial expressions, yo. Like she could do these facial expressions, like
yeah,
perfect hostess for something like this, yo. For real.
totally.
I mean, and look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is this Eagly? Is this Eagly? No, I know it's not Eagly. I don't want DC to be going after you, but this is Eagly before Eagly on Peacemaker, because you do this in 2020, all right? So look at that, yo. Isn't that cool? I love this blend that you did with the animation and the real life on certain scenes. Because this poor girl, that eagle wasn't very nice to her in the movie.
No, he definitely wasn't. And she was a trooper with filming that, though. Like we had one take for the eagle poop to land on her. And everyone was, because like it gets on her dress. It was yogurt.
Yes.
But it was just like, everyone's like, okay, we have to do this perfectly at this one take. And we did. So it was great. I mean, she was a great sport with it.
Whatever you got, that yogurt, it really did look like it, because I worked at in Forest Hill, Queens, and I had to go under a train track. So one day, here I am. I just bought my new Columbia suit. Remember Columbia suit back in the day? So I got my Columbia suit. As soon as I always used to be careful. Damn birds. I was almost out. Then. I was almost out, Sassy. That's all I heard. I'm like, no. Looking like homie right here.
Oh my god!
I ran into my jaw. Just ran. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing. Nothing. You're not gonna see me shit on.
What a jerk! What a jerk! That bird.
New York pigeons are the devil. Let me tell you.
Those guys are ruthless.
And talk about this. I'm seeing this. I'm like, yo, is there dance scenes in this? Is music? Yeah, but let me tell you, there was some fun stuff. I mean, you have the sickest sense of humor as a director, and I dig that.
Thank you so much. Fun. It's really nice to hear that. Yeah.
It's about fun for me. I think the sicker the director, the more fun the film. And, and you have fun with the topic, which is what's important. Because this is a serious topic, but you have fun with it. Not just you, but and the cast could tell that. The dudes, the women, everyone have fun. I mean, look at this one scene. Everybody's just chilling, dancing. You got to see why, because you're gonna be like, "Oh damn, damn."
Yeah. Oh my god.
And this homie was hysterical.
He was great. He was so good. He, like, when I had originally written the role, I kind of assumed that the actor would play it like dumb, because that's like he's supposed to be like a male Vanna White, but then he gave this audition that played it smart, and I was like, I actually really, that's funnier because it's different. And so like I basically told the girls who were his like fangirls to pretend he was like a Backstreet Boy or in Boys to Men, like I was like, just he's your whoever your boy band idol is, like that's who it is. And they were so great, and like they were off screen, and like he was, like kind of like pumping him up and stuff, and then like he was there when off screen when they were doing their thing. It was so hysterical to work with. Those girls went all out.
And look at that, folks. We get taught like the implant. Yes, we learned about the implant. I mean, this to me, yo, I died when I saw it. Decreases the risk of another Ted Cruz.
It's something we should all strive to prevent.
Not just him, but I think we need to add DeSantis as part of that shit too. Homie's nuts too. Oh, you don't agree with me? Let me have some revenge. Like, you know what? This is wrong. Floridians, we're gonna. I'm in Florida, unfortunately. We're gonna be forced to pay state taxes because of his move. Think about this.
Mm-hmm. A lot of taxes.
Because, you didn't agree with me. So now, apparently he made it with under 50, like at 49%. He almost didn't get in.
Yeah.
So please, people, remember this, because when your check is smaller, know who to blame.
Yeah,
all right,
100%.
Not just them, but like a person like this, Cruz too. And I just hate that, because when I look at them, they have Latino backgrounds. I'm like,
yes,
wow, I am effing embarrassed as a Latino, embarrassed by them, because this nah, bro, this is nah. Yeah, I grew up with Y'all grew up in the South too long. Y'all should have been in New York for a minute, and y'all would have been checked and be different men today.
So Rafael Cruz is not a good representation of Latinos. I'm joking.
No. He only wants to be called Rafael when it's convenient, which is what I find hilarious.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden, he Latino. Now I'm Rafael. Oh, I thought
yeah,
you
right.
bro.
Yeah, with the accent and everything, and then he's all whitewashed.
Yeah, I'm saying. I'm not stupid. I know who actually works for me. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right? For sure.
And this one, serious. I was scared of this one though.
She was so she has her own Netflix show. She's extremely talented. Her show is called Malibu Rescue, and it's for like teenagers. And I wasn't sure what to expect, working with her. Her name's Jackie R. Jacobson, because she does have a name, attached to her. But she was such a pleasure to work with, and also really cared about the material. And she was one of the actually like easier actors to work with out of the entire cast, which was amazing for me, because I'm like, oh my God, like the agents tried to negotiate for a trailer, and I was like, what type of film do you think this is? Like,
Word. Oh my God. Talk to me about that, because I'm starting to deal with agents when I do interviews, right? Some of them want to stay in the background of an interview, like, can you make me an invisible box? Yes, I can. Whatever you want. How did you learn how to deal with that? Because no school prepares you for that side of the business.
There definitely isn't a school that prepares you for that. There should be. There should be like the business classes of filmmaking. Yes. I mean, it's really trial and error. And with this project especially, we had an amazing producer named Steve Cubine, who's produced some bigger stuff. One of his web series actually won an Emmy a couple of years ago. And and he's so nice. And so I had just worked with him on another show right before this. And so he hopped on to be the producer that handled all the contracts, all of the agents and managers, all of that stuff. And he is so good at writing emails so kindly, yet with purpose, in a way that I cannot reach, because mine are always like I want to be like, no, blah 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 blah, and he's just like very like politically correct, just like the nicest thing, and is so good at negotiating. So the way we were able to have this cast of over 30 people is especially thanks to Steve, because so many of them had agents and managers and stuff, and I don't have a lot of experience dealing with that.
For real. I didn't realize that. Now that you mentioned the number, it's true. Like, wow, you did have a numerous cast here. So, again, you being a young filmmaker, if you will, still navigating. How did you handle a crew that big? I mean, that's not even counting the people that are on set directing and with the cameras and doing the other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the crew, almost everyone were people that I've worked with on other shoots. So like what I really like to do along with my jobs where I meet people is like, we'll help out, like my friends will be shooting a movie and I'm like, yeah, I'll assist and direct that. I'll edit that, like trading favors with people. And so I crewed up like some very talented crew members months before, because that's the other key. That's a hack for filmmaking, is if you're making not like a multi-million-dollar thing, the best way to get talented people involved is time. So you get these crew people involved, who usually work for so much more money, but are doing me a favor because of favors that we've exchanged for different sets. And that we had planned this. So in like June, right? And we're shooting November. And I'm like, these are the dates. They're not changing. And I just checked in with these people, weekly, monthly, whatever, to just be like, are you still okay? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you make sure you can quarantine before that, make sure that you can afford whatever you need to afford in your life before that, because I can't afford to pay you like $500, $600 a day as much as I would like to, and so it was really cool because there was a foundation of trust along with the crew. Then we all took COVID very seriously, and that also everyone really wanted to make a good quality product. And again, not abusing people's time also helps in this situation, because then they work harder, and want to be involved. So, just be nice to people.
And I say that shit all the time, because you never know that the foot you step on today may be the ass you may need to kiss tomorrow. Although I'm not kissing 100%. No one's ass, to be honest.
Yep.
But this is funny too, right here. This is one amongst the funny scenes with the condom stuff, bro.
Yeah,
for real, yo.
Yeah, Brooke was great to work with. It was so.
I mean, homie better say yes. Just wear it. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, that was great. And
Be a good
one of the
person.
reviews of it said, like, I'll never look at Twinkies or Pop-Tarts the same after,
Oh
like,
my
the
God,
graphic.
please do not put that in my mind, please. And look at this. You were doing these scenes on rooftops, because this was funny
Yeah,
too, man.
yeah.
When I saw homie get on top talking about, all right, wait a minute. And that's where that list came up. I'm telling you, folks, when you see this, you guys are gonna just laugh. But it's just I've experienced this in real life, this very scenario. I mean, minus the cameras.
Right. Yeah.
But I've experienced this very scenario on
Totally.
a rooftop in Queens. This is what it was. I mean, I swear to God, you look like you're on the very same rooftop that I was at, because the walls like that. Like,
You know what's so funny too is that, like, people in LA say, like, who goes to rooftops to do this? I was like, everyone in New York City goes to rooftops to do this. I was
Man,
like,
you just made me look like a very dirty man.
no, but I'm like, right? Like, I mean, all of my friends up there utilize rooftops in LA. Like,
Yo,
no one really
yeah.
uses rooftops for like private
yeah.
stuff like this.
This is the New York Mile High Club.
Right. Exactly. There you go.
Whereby, yo, man, you better watch out, folks, for real. Watch where you step. You better wear some shoes when you go out to a roof in New York, all right? You may get pregnant accidentally by stepping on something.
That is
And
true.
And look at this. I mean, look at homie's shorts. Who wears a sweater like that with orange shorts? I mean, who was your costume? He's like, I find this hysterical. I mean, homie got a gray sweater, orange long shorts with gray socks and dress shoes. I mean, this is like a Brooklyn uniform I've ever seen one.
Right. It was this really phenomenal woman named Drea who I'd also worked with on films before. I don't think she's an LA native. I'm not sure where she's from originally, but she had such a good like mind coming up with this stuff. Like the schoolboy uniform, she thought she came up with that. She was like, oh, after he falls, he should be in a schoolboy uniform. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. You know, and I told her that I wanted all the outfits to have lots of colors and I wanted every character to have distinct colors. So it's like, even when you're showing that one where they're all dancing together, like everyone has their own distinct look.
They're unique.
And and I wanted also too with the casting and everything, I was like, I want all colors of the rainbow, so like people can watch this and be like, oh, I'm kind of like that person, or I'm kind of like that person. So we really tried to just like to have all types of costumes that we could to be representative of everyone that exists, you know, as much as you can do that.
I gotta ask, what were you thinking here? Because look at that pose. You're like, what's going on there? Like, what's going on there? What's your point there? Because something going on.
It's definitely with the camera movement, I would imagine, because like of where to place it and stuff. You know, the DP, I have to give credit to the crew too, because the script is so all over the place, right? It kind of like, it makes sense now when you watch this because you can see everything. But imagine doing this with no graphic effects. We spent 2 days on a green screen stage, and there's no like cohesive storyline through most of the project, in a sense that like you could read it and be like, oh, I understand. And so like it's one thing to like write the scene about the eagle and then like shoot it, and the crew, like I know some of them are kind of like, what the hell is this, like, you know, because usually like scripts have like, you know, their 3-act structure, which this does in a way. But anyway, a lot of times I would have to say to people like, just trust me, this is the shot we need to get. And then afterwards it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get what you're doing there and stuff like that.
Yo entiendo all of a sudden, right?
Yeah. Same with this thing. I'm showing them how to catch that dance sequence that we did there in my teeny tiny apartment.
Oh, that's those moves. You're there. You got caught in the moves. Hey, you got to do like
yeah,
this.
right.
Oh,
exactly. 100% for sure.
Wow, Sassy giving them some sass right there. Like, yeah, this is how you do it. And talk about that equipment you got, because look at these cameras and all. Like, what type of equipment do you use to film this? Because let me tell you, I am a fan of crispiness, and this is so crisp. Like, what type of equipment were you using for this project? It's beautiful looking, clean.
Yeah, we shot on both a 6K and 4K camera. And I mean, a lot of the equipment was honestly stuff people owned, again, with like working with people and doing exchanges for different film sets. So we actually didn't have to rent pretty much like anything except for one big light, you know. And I had, of course, paid for production insurance to cover all of it. But I mean, it was a really it was really nice for the first time, I feel like, to have access to everything that I wanted for a film. It was like, because so many times it's like you're fighting money or time or whatever location. But with this, because of the amount of planning that we had and the people involved, we were able to be like, okay, we need to get this dolly, we need to get this thing. And then everything we were able to actually get together and use in a high quality way. It wasn't like Jimmy rigging stuff like so many of my earlier things are.
I need
Not that there's anything
here.
wrong with that.
I feel you. I hear that and I feel that. Let me tell you. But I need to know, because this cracked me up. Remember, I'm a girl daddy. There is no way in hell I would ever give some MFer a key. And then you did this. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I was laughing, but I'm like, this daddy? No, not this daddy. Talk about that idea, because that shit is hysterical. I'm like, oh my God. Because once I saw the after effect and I saw, okay, what was going on? I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
That motherfucker said, there's your key to a good time. I'm like, oh my God. Wait a minute. Hey, I don't want to talk about my kiddo that way.
Right. I mean, one of the things that I've learned with the commercials I've done is the whole concept of like, take something someone knows and then turn it on his head. So basically with everything, in the entire project was like taking something that we all know and then flipping it upside down into something new. And the chastity belt was really funny because our amazing production designer, Lahia, she was like, okay, I'm going to go out and try and find one. And she went out in West Hollywood and she was like, yeah, the chastity belts they have are not the kind we're looking for. They're the other kind of chastity belts that you use for things. So we ended up having to build our own with like random stuff from Amazon. And then Lauren, that actress, was such a sport. We super glued it onto her.
It was super glued?
Yeah, like the actual belt itself into the thing. And it was really funny because like the dress over it, like the belt was like bulging out of the dress, so we had to like shoot her from like the waist up, otherwise there's just gigantic bulge.
You had somebody in the back holding the belt back like, I got it
right. Yeah, and so I mean this was just like really fun, and I love the way that Lahia put it together with the colors and everything. It's just I'm so thankful to have these amazing crew members involved.
No, for real, because it looks great. And again, folks, I can't wait for y'all to check out this short, because you guys will be smiling ear to ear. I mean, it's a really humorous approach to a serious topic at the end of the day. And, and I love that because I'm a big fan of comedy. So I always feel that comedy is always a great way to segue into serious topics, and being done in a way that where people, could think but not feel offended.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for. 100%.
And I think you accomplished the goal here, at least for me, because as a dude, I ain't felt offended, because that was stuff says it sometimes. I know some dudes may be like, oh, well, you know what, get over yourselves, homies, because this is just her take. And again, this is about femininity, women, being able to be like us dirty ass men sometimes where we do what we do.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't know the power is equal.
That's really what I was trying to show. And then also, like, my fiance co-produced this project with me, and he's amazing. And he also acted in it. He's the actor. He's the pharmacy actor, like the guy with the girl and the condom breaks. Yeah. And so I also would like check in with him and another male screenwriter friend, just be like, this is not too offensive, right? And like they would both be like, no, this is fine. Like, just to make sure, because I didn't want to ostracize half of the world from watching this film. You know what I mean?
Again, this you have fun with a serious topic,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of men that have been through this too, being a partner with someone that probably, has dealt with these issues. And man, you got to see this humorous take. I think that you did it justice. You did it fun. I can't let people see it, because again, you took something serious and made it fun, and where people could think, but at the same time smile, because like, oh my God, this is so outrageous. This is dope. You know what I mean? I'm digging it, and the message is there, because it's true. Goes to both sides with the condom
Mhm.
holes, but stop it,
Yep.
people.
Both sides. And
No
also,
holes. Okay.
if people want to check it out, it's in a bunch of virtual film festivals right now. So they can go to the birthcontrolhacks.com and there's
Right
a
there,
watch page. Yeah. Or birthcontrolhacks.com/watch. And it has all the information of the different festivals. Cause right now it's in the whole festival circuit for the rest of the year. And one
Dig
kind of
it.
cool thing about festivals now is how they're in person and also virtually. So, if someone's watching this and wants to like check it out from not Los Angeles this weekend, they can. And if they're in LA, they can come to the theaters this weekend and see it because it's playing at the Chinese, which is really cool.
What? This
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah, on Friday.
Hey! Yo, folks, you hear this? We're getting them drops. So Chinese theater this weekend is showing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's traveling the circuit. Fire. Sassy, I need to know right now, though, most importantly, like if people wanted to meet you,
Mhm.
right, and talk about this in person and the fun you had, will you be at the theater, the Chinese Woman Theater?
Oh,
Will
yeah.
you be anywhere else? Talk to me. Where were you going to be at so people could see the awesomeness that is Miss Mohen here?
I'm actually going to be at pretty much all of the festivals that we're in. There's one
Awesome.
that I'm going to sadly miss, which is in 2 weeks, which is the Harlem Film Festival. They haven't officially announced yet, but it's just like super soon. And like they told me a few days ago, and I was like, I can't fly there right now because I have jobs and stuff. But for as many of them as I can, like there's one that's going to be playing in Austin in July, in Portland in June. So I'm going to be going to all of those. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, they can totally message me on Instagram because I'm there all the time. I love getting random messages with people who want to talk film.
There you go.
Or
Not
birth
just
control or whatever.
I don't got just the Instagram up, folks.
Yeah.
I got the Facebook too. So hit her up. Say hello.
Yeah.
Say I love it, Sassy. We're gonna talk to you because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that would love to talk to you about what you're doing. Now, besides those shows that where you're gonna do at conventions and show up and chat with folks, what's the future look like? I mean, is there anything happening right now, Sassy, that you could give us a scoop on?
Yeah, well, actually, my management team and I are developing 3 shows right now to pitch to
3?
networks. Yeah, 3 different shows. One of them is the How to Hack series. So we're gonna,
shit,
right?
yes.
Which
If you do a
about.
show on this style, I'm hooked. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm paying whatever platform it's on.
Like we've got how to hack climate change, how to hack voting rights, that type of stuff. So dealing with like taboo topics in exactly this humorous way. And I have 2 other
podcasts.
shows. Yeah. Right. There you go. We could do, you can hack a lot of things. And like another show we're developing is this pilot I already did called Weedland that's set in 2015 and it's about marijuana delivery in Los Angeles and about like legality and hypocrisy in government and laws.
Let me tell you, I
stuff.
lived in Massachusetts, right?
Mhm.
And I smoke weed. I enjoy it. I do it recreationally because it also
too.
settles
Cheers.
my mind because I'm very busy. So sometimes I need to quiet down my mind a little bit so that way I could think better. Not that I use it to not do shit. I do it to calm down and work on the things that matter, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm with that. So let's go, folks. For real, 420 just happened. I mean, light up, spark up, because it's a good thing. Ain't nothing crazy. Keep it clean. Get hemp paper if you're afraid of tobacco. Do it on blunts like I do.
Yeah, right.
I'm an OG New Yorker, so I'm Dutchies to the core. But if you do it clean, it's a good thing, man. It actually does help you a lot, and I don't know. Thank you for doing it. I could see where your creativity and humor comes from. Then no wonder. Let me stop. Hey.
Yeah, right.
So, if you ever do a film in Florida or in Georgia, whatever, and you need a Puerto Rican on scene, I'm here for you.
I'm noting that, writing it down. Should I ever shoot in Florida?
if you need Mr. Web, I'm there. All right, now.
Amazing,
folks. For real, folks. So you gotta check it out because this is an amazing short film. Birthcontrolhacks.com. Check out this great website. I mean, let me give you a quick tease before we go because, like I said, I've been looking at the website. It's just like on the side and it keeps playing these videos. I'm like, damn, I really like how this website looks. I'm jelly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
oof,
Wix.
oof.
It's all Wix.com.
It's all Wix. I mean, look
Yeah.
at folks. Look, folks. Look how sexy this website is. You got some motion going on. You got some ladies kicking ass. What is this? What are you up to here? Because I see action. What is this? Hey,
Right? Those are so many different films
Sassy,
and
what are you
commercials that I've
doing, yo?
done. I know.
Oh my God. There you go. Writer, producer. I mean, check out all the recent press. Sassy is kicking ass. You know, she's definitely being sassy in Hollywood, yo. So y'all better watch out. All right. For real. There's the future right here. I mean, look at this. I mean, team building director as early as 19 years old, having the courage to put herself out there. I mean, yo, look at this. Award winner. Yo, I respect.
Yeah.
Put respect on that name right here, folks, because for real, Niagara Falls, fantastic indie festival, Los Angeles, Toronto Independent Film Festival. Like, yo, you're doing it. And I know you're going to murder it on GeekFest too when people see it, because I know people love humor. It's something that's needed in our lives. So, you know, I always like to give flowers. So, Sassy, I just want to say thank you, Sassy, for real. As a fan of pop culture, as a fan of film, as a fan of shorts, as a fan of humor, just thank you for putting yourself out there, being bold and brave enough to share that vision with us and not giving an F, if you will, and just put it out there. So you keep doing you, screw the haters, and rule the world, because I know you got this, homie.
Thank you so much for having me and for saying that and for all your positive attitude. It's so nice to have that. And from another New Yorker also.
Hey, yo, listen, all right. As a New Yorker, let me ask here. Did you like bacon, egg, and cheeses? And if so, are you able to get Kaiser rolls where you're at? Because as far as I discussed with other people, we could only get Kaiser rolls in New York because of the Kaiser Roll Mafia and King Kaiser.
You know, it's really not the same out here. I am
You
still,
see?
I have yet to still find my bagel out here. I've lived here since 2004.
Okay.
The bagels here are nothing at all.
Please check to see if they have a Brooklyn bagel shop by you, because apparently the Brooklyn bagel shop imports water from New York, and I'm in Florida.
Really?
My wife one day ordered some bagels with cream cheese toasted, and I bit into this. I'm like, oh, this tastes like New York. I'm like, babe, where did you get this? I'm like, yo, I found the Brooklyn bagel spot. They bring water from New York. I'm like, stop lying. This is like the best bagel I ever ate in my life.
Yeah.
Like, since New York.
I'll have to look
check
for
if
that.
you have a Brooklyn bagel spot
Okay.
in where you at, because if they do, I guarantee you're gonna be like, they only got bagels, not rolls, but you're gonna be happy with the bagel. Like, this is the good old New York Jewish bagel, the way they do it. Yeah.
I would love that. More bodega egg sandwiches. Exactly.
Oh my
like
gosh, it's their bodega. Yeah, thank you. That's the conversation we had. King Kaiser, screw you for holding down the market only in New York. I may get killed after this podcast because I'm shouting out King Kaiser, but hey, bro, we need you in Florida. Stop it. and in Cali. And in Washington. Let's get it. All right? But for real, yo, Sassy, you've been nothing but an awesome guest. I love everything you're doing. Keep doing what you do. I can't wait for everybody else to check out the amazing film you got. One more time, folks. Just one more time. Websites. birthcontrolhacks.com. Now, that's for the flick. If you want to see everything that Sassy is up to, just go to Sassy Mohen. Sassy, SASSYMOHEN.com. Folks, check it out. And please go visit her on Facebook, Sassy Mohen Films, and on Instagram at Sassy Mohen. You're going to be kept up to date, appraised of all the greatness that this woman is doing, yo, all right? Women of the future, she's definitely one of these right there, all right? Kicking ass and taking names. Or even not, though. She like, fuck these names. I'm going to murder all of you and disappear because I'm going to be the boss, all right? So, Sassy, thank you for doing what you do. And with that, mi gente, you know what to do. comiccrusaders.shop, undercovercapes.com. Check out everything. Check out my big homie outside the panels. He got his own podcast stream now. Johnny's Used the Machine. Awesome series. I mean, he got my energy. So you're going to have a good time when you listen to OTP. Check out Cinema Crusaders. Check out Think Indie Podcast. You love indie comics. On Undercover Capes. You love Marvel. You check out No Prize Podcast. You love DC. You check out Definitive Crusade. If you love indie on that too, check out Flipside Focus. We got everything for everyone, yo, for real. Just like Sassy. You know, we both pimps. All right. And with that, I'm Al Mega with the amazing and very talented Sassy Mohen. Mucho amor, and hasta la próxima, mi gente. Wepa! Later! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.